Okay, I'm off to my next accessory that I'm going to install on my new 2021 Fish Pro, and that is the inserts that allow you to use the fenders protectors. They come in a box like this, these snap-in fenders. For my Spark, I have another set, but the Spark, they're already built in, they're pre-drilled. So for all the other models that are not Spark, you have to buy a kit in order to put them on. It comes with two, one for near the bow and one towards the stern. It's called Installation Fender Snap-in Fender Adapter Kit. That's what it's called. And I bought two of them. I'd recommend to do that because you never know what way you want to go into a dock if you're going to be on your port side or your starboard side. So if you're going to go to the trouble, you might as well. So in the kit, there's two cleats. They double wrap them for whatever reason. It says Sea-Doo on it. There's some holes that are going to where the drilling's going to go through, and the screws to fasten it, and then there's the actual hole that the fender is going to go down through. So we're going to clip onto the lower portion here like this, and we're just going to have to line it up and drill. I can't remember the gentleman's name, but there's a guy with a good video who's already done the install, and he recommended that you put something up in under here. He used a cloth or a rag of some type, and just so that when you're pushing through and your drill goes through, there's some momentum and you don't go into the other side of the other hull or even just scratch it. So we'll have to space these out. BRP gives you the same instruction manual. That's it, and it just gives the instructions in a number of languages. It says go to www.instructions.brp.com and type in your 9-digit code, which will be on your box. In this case, it's 295-100-728, or is that 29? It's terrible getting old. And then the instructions will come up. Okay, so I'm gonna pull those up and see where it is that I have to put these on, and then I'll start marking and then get out my drill. So I got the first one installed. I made a couple of recommendations. First off, when you mark them, because it's black and it's hard to get any other, unless you have some like whiteout or something like that, you're probably going to use like an awl to mark it. I would do one side, mark it, and then pull out the drill. It's a 7/32 drill hole that you need, but I would go start with a smaller bit, like a 7/64 to start it. And you're supposed to drill in at 30-degree angle, but certainly if you start with a larger bit, it's going to slip and you're going to scrape it. It'll be hidden anyway, but it's not going to start. So I would suggest starting with a smaller drill bit and start perpendicular. Get the most amount of surface area on the drill bit, and then move it up once you've got it seated. Then it won't slip and you can put it right in. Also, you're going to want to put something behind. I just doubled up some cardboard and shoved it up there. And I did drill slowly, very slowly. The other thing is I have the garbage can here because fiberglass is just a mess. You're going to go through plastic first, and then you're going to go through fiberglass. And you don't want fiberglass on the ground, especially if you've got pets and stuff. So you might want to grab a Dyson or a similar vacuum just so that you can get it clean. And you'll want, once I drilled one hole, I lined it up, put the screw partially in, and made sure I was lining up the other one. So dead center, because you're going into fiberglass here and it's not as forgiving as if you're dealing with the polymer over with the spark tricks. So it'll take you longer, but as long as you can line it up and it gets in there good and secure. So I've done one. I'll try the other one, and then I'll put the fenders on and just show you. So as you can see, I've started one of the holes with a 7/64, and then I go up to 7/32, which is the size of the Torx. And you really need to make sure, I made the mistake at the first one that I put on, that you get this thing up high. I think I left it a little bit too much slack like that on the front one. And so there was a little bit of a rattle until I tightened it. But make sure you get it up good and snug. So I do one side, torque the screw in, line up the pinhole for the other one, then take this off. I use a point to make the mark. Then I drill the small hole and then the big hole. And then I will vacuum and rub it down with some cleaner before I torque it on. So here's the rear one on the port side that I've got. Notice there's not much distance between the actual cleat and the white fiberglass, as opposed to the one near the bow, where I didn't push it up far enough. You can see that there's more of a distance, and there's just a little bit of play at the bottom, but I don't think it's going anywhere. Those bolts are in good, but you know, if you want, I think you want to make sure you get it good and snug. Okay, I got them installed on the port side. It's an easy project. You can do it. I've given you a few tips that I think it might make it easier. The other thing that you may notice from the instructions when you pull them up on the website, they don't give you an exact location. They just give you a rough idea of where to put them from the picture. So for the one closest to the bow, it was in line with the speaker. But for the rear part, they were showing what I thought was a GTX or a limited, and I think they had it about here. And with the Fish Pro, we have a little bit more of a, we have an extra bumper on the back, or a flotation platform. So that adds a little bit. So for better or for worse, I've moved it back here because this is fairly straight. But if I had it over here a little bit, I'd be worried a little bit about that bumper kicking in. So I don't know if it's correct or not, but that's what I chose to do, just to move it down from about here to about here. So hopefully that'll work, and I won't bother showing you the other side. I'm just going to install the exact same kit on the other side so that I can pull into anybody's dock on either side and not have to worry about backing in because I only have them on one side. Thanks for watching.